All right, y'all. So since we're at a brewery, I like to tell some bar stories. So I'm going to tell you a little bar story. Does that sound good? Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so I'm from New York. You can tell because I can curse and still sound like a fucking lady, right? But I was also like a New York City bartender for like 7 years, and you can tell because I can curse and still sound like a fucking lady. Do you understand? All right? And there's these things about New York City bartenders that people seem to think about us. Like, they think we're rock stars, and they think that, like, I could drink you under the table, or that I could have sex with a different person every night. And I'm here to tell you that that's completely true. It's really true. My 20s were a really good time, okay? There's an allure to being a New York City bartender. When you're back there, literally everyone wants you, and it feels really great, right? But the thing is that like want to take the bartender home, it doesn't end just because you're a bartender. I still want to take every bartender home. Shout out to Shane, whatever your name is. I'll take you home. It's fine. Like that want is still there, yeah? So I was 21. I'm working at this bar that's like a sports bar. I'm a terrible bartender at this point. I have not learned what I'm doing. And that bar called Johnny Fox's, may you rest in peace. Johnny Fox's is the sister bar to a bar down in the 70s on 2nd Avenue called Doc Watson's, okay? And Doc's was like a super Irish bar. Everyone behind the bar was Irish. It was like, you know, one of these wonderful throwback bars in New York, you know? So I walk in knowing that it's a sister bar. So we're in the same bar family. It's like brothers and sisters, right? And I walk back there, and there is this bartender behind the bar. His name's Alan Quirk, all right? He is the most Irish bartender, okay? He's that typical Irish bartender where, like, it sounds like he's singing to you when he talks to you, right? And as soon as he opens his mouth, you're like, yes, I will get naked for you. Like, that's where we're at, okay? So Alan and I, we start talking, and there's this thing in New York that you don't ever actually date anyone. You just sort of fall into bed with someone, and like 2 weeks later, I turn and say, great, what's your name? So I can remember, okay? So Alan and I end up going to this like bar opening on 3rd Avenue because my life was literally just the bar for a while. So we're at this bar opening, it's like very fucking late, and somehow we start making out, somehow I end up in his bed, and then I wake up the next morning and I'm like, oh, hi, this was fun. This was a good time. And so Alan and I start sleeping together. A lot. Like a lot. It was really fun. But Alan told me that there was one rule, and the rule was this: it had to be secret. Because we were sister bars, so it had to be a secret relationship. And if there's one thing that's more fun than having sex with a bartender, it's having secret sex with a bartender. Okay? It's really cool. It's a really good time. So we were going on for like months, just like hanging out and sleeping together and like going and getting drinks and sleeping together and then like meeting up at 1 a.m. for pizza and then sleeping together. You catch the pattern, right? Here's the thing though. I was like 21. This had been going on like 3 or 4 months. And I was, you know, positive we were going to get married. Like positive that this was some big, important relationship in my life. And that, it's a lot of time when you're 21. That's like a significant portion of your year. You know, so this is like a big thing. And it didn't dawn on my little 21-year-old brain that if a man is ashamed to admit that he's sleeping with you in public, you're not getting married, right? Like, this is a thing. All right. So, one day, the owner of the bar comes into my bar, and he goes, hey, Kim, have you met Alan? He's a bartender over at Doc's. And Alan goes, no, we haven't met. And he goes to shake my hand, but I had just left Alan's bed like 2 hours ago, and it was the sexiest thing I'd ever seen, you know? So I was like, no, I haven't met him. Hey, Alan, how are you? And I like still smelled like him, you know? This was a big moment. I was like, oh, this is it. He's gonna be like, yeah, he knows me. And no, he just pretended for the rest of the time he was there that he didn't actually have ever met me, which is a weird thing. But we kept going for a couple months, and like at this point we're at maybe 5-ish months. Like 6, that's half a year. That's a real relationship. That's love, is what I'm saying. And To which apparently, it was just me being in love because I walked in to Doc Watson's one night and Alan is making out with a chick over the bar. Which isn't classy. Can we just say that for a second? Like, as a bartender, you secretly give someone your number and meet around the corner. I feel like that's code. Like, I feel like that's what we all do. But so Alan is making out with this chick over the bar, and I walk in and I'm fucking devastated, right? Because I think I'm in love. Not really. I think we're gonna get married, although we're not. Okay? And I think that, like, I have lost some big grand love in my life, and Alan is just making out with this chick, right? So I do the classy thing, which is throw a fucking fit. I start screaming. I start crying. It's like super intense to the point that the other bartender named Brian comes out and goes, "Girl, we gotta get you outside." And he takes me outside, okay? And I start just crying into Brian's chest. And I'm just like, why? I thought this was it. I thought we were so great. And Brian's like, "Sweetheart, you were nothing to him. He just slept with you." And I was like, "Great, thanks for the truth bomb, Brian." But I'm crying so hard that all of my makeup is just on Brian's button-down light blue Oxford shirt, right? Like, it's a fucking mess right here. So finally Brian's like, "Who can I call? Let me get you a cab, let me get you friends." And I was like, "Okay." And a friend comes and she does that thing that chicks do at 2 a.m, which is tell you you're a goddamn goddess and you don't ever need him, right? So she does that, and then she gets me into the cab, and as I'm getting in the cab, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a strong, independent woman," and I leave. Here's what I find out. As soon as I left, Brian walked into the bar and said, "I got the bitch to leave." I know, it's mean, okay? And Alan kind of cheers, okay? Brian takes off his Oxford shirt, pins it to the wall as a trophy for getting the girl who's been crying to leave. To this day, 13 years later, if you go to Doc Watson's on 77th and 2nd Avenue, his fucking shirt is still pinned up on that wall, okay? And here's what I want to say, all right? Here's what I want to say. Alan Quirk is now very happily married to a green card marriage, but happily married, okay? And I refuse to change his name so that everyone can know about Alan J. Quirk. Thank you so much, you guys.